Right, not done this for long. This is a chili pork spare ribs recipe. I'll put the recipe on below the video. But I'm using, let's start with what I'm using. Well, because I like using a Ramoska, I'm going to use the Ramoska. I'm also going to use the oven. Of course, you could clean this out after you've made the sauce and everything else and use this as the oven. But I'm not going to do that. But that's the option. That's the Ramoska Tria. Over there is the Ramoska Standard. I'm not using that today. Right, this recipe is quite loaded, really. There's chili bean sauce. Oyster sauce is for the vegetables, not for, because I'm going to stir-fried vegetable with it. Shaoxing rice wine, coarse sea salt, light soy sauce, dark, where is it? Dark soy sauce, sesame oil I'm using for the vegetables, and a hoisin sauce. Now we're going to make a sauce to cook the spare ribs in later on. That sauce, if you've got any left over, can actually be frozen and used again. Well, there's the spare ribs. There's 2 racks there. I'm using mushrooms for the stir-fry vegetables later. Spring onions, pepper, courgettes, mange tout, bean sprouts, and half of the noodles. These are Singapore noodles. Basically, I'm going to half all of these, so I'm going to do half today and half tomorrow. There's also spring onions and garlic, which I'm going to chop. Right, well, I'm going to get on and do that, and then I'll show you when I start to make the sauce. Now, those are the ribs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be browning them in the Ramoska, and the bigger pan at the back is going to be making the sauce. So what I've done now is I've chopped about 3 tablespoons of garlic, which I think at least 2 you need, and at least 3 tablespoons of spring onions, and I'm now going to add the sauces to the pan, and I'll do that. I've got a recipe with me and see how it goes. I don't know where this recipe came from, to be honest, so it's hard to say. It's certainly not mine as such. Anyway, let's start. So we want 3 fluid ounces of Shaoxing rice wine. Now, got 3 fluid ounces is those are mils. I don't know what they are. Let me just have well, there's 3 fluid ounces of Shaoxing rice wine. That goes in there. And the next thing I'm going to add is the rest of the sauces. There is, this is dark soy sauce is 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of that. So it's dark soy sauce. 1, 2. The next thing is light soy sauce. 2 tablespoons. That's light touch. 1, 2. And there is the chopped ginger and garlic going in there. That's that. And now salt, about coarse sea salt, 1 heaped teaspoon. That's that. Now we've got some chili bean sauce. Chili bean sauce. You can also add, if you've got it, yellow bean sauces, but that's an optional. So let me put some of that in there. Oh, I can't find them now. Don't know what I've done with that. Right, so we put a teaspoon, 2 tablespoons of that. That goes in there. And I'm going to come back in a bit once I've done the chicken stock. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm just browning the ribs, and I'll come back to that in due course and show you that. Now, there's the chicken stock, a pint, using cubes. And I've got to leave that to simmer for an hour. So I suppose I didn't need to have started the spare ribs so early, really. So I might just stop that now for a little while. And we'll get on to the so what I've done now is I've just stopped the ribs for a little while. I'll do them in about half an hour's time and come back to it. So anyway, now we're simmering that. That's all the ingredients that are in there. And I'll show you that when I come back to it. I've got to do some corn flour yet. I'll put some corn flour, about 3 tablespoons of corn flour and water, I think. Let me have a look. Yeah, 3 tablespoons of corn flour and a little bit of water to that. Thank you. Simmer it for an hour, but I've set the alarm for 45 minutes. I've got to put some hoisin sauce in here too. 3 tablespoons. I haven't done this corn flour yet, but I've done this now. So it's good. That'll simmer now for 45 minutes, and I'll still simmer it for a full hour, but I'll start doing the meat in that. There's the corn flour. 3 tablespoons of corn flour, 3 tablespoons of water. That's brought to the boil. That's going to be simmering in a minute. I'll put that in there. I'll add a bit more water to that. That's it. So that's the sauce. Going to be simmered for 45 minutes, continued for an extra 15 minutes, and in that 15 minutes I'll do the ribs. Now the oven needs to be set at 180 and with a rack, because we'll be putting the ribs on that for about 20 minutes to finish off in due course. Oh wow, so long since I cooked this I made a mistake, folks. That's going to be simmering, and I've got to brown these things off and then add them to the stock once it's done. So I'm just browning that now, finishing browning it. what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to reduce the size of the ribs. I think the last time I did this, I actually took them all individually. But I'm not going to bother with that now. I'm going to get anywhere, bring that to the boil and get that simmering, and then I'll add this to that. But I need to get this brown and crispy first. You don't want to watch me do that. I'm going to put this video at the beginning now. I made a mistake, and you'll see it as it comes through later on in the cooking. I've made the sauce, and that's fine. You can see me do that. The thing is, which I've forgotten about, I didn't do the order right, was while I was cooking the sauce, I should also be browning the ribs. And so what I've done now is I'm browning the ribs, and here's some of them already browned. And I'm going to move the sauce, which is in there. I'm going to add it into the rosca tria, and then I'm going to cook that for an hour, slowly simmered. And then that brings me back onto the normal recipe. But I'll put the recipe in writing below there anyway. So as you watch the rest of the video, please bear in mind that what I'm saying now is right. What I'm saying later on in the video is not so right. Okay, right. I'm now going to add the stock to it. Just turn it down now to simmer.
Recognises the concerns over food milk price following the recent arrests of journalists who were present at the scenes. As a result, additional measures are now in place to ensure that legitimate media can do their job. Primarily, officers have been instructed to ensure they conduct full and thorough checks before making an arrest decision, as well as getting a final approval by a supervisor before making any arrests of anyone who is identifying themselves as press. Further guidance on dealing with the press has been reiterated to officers during briefings. In addition, Stakeholders is requesting an independent force to examine our approach to these arrests and identify any learning we should take in managing these.
We'll come back. This is the tria lid. It's a sort of pressure lid. It does cook a bit faster, but basically I'm going to put it on there, and it'll be for an hour, and then I'll put them into the oven on racks to finish it. And while that's doing in there to be finished, I'll then do the stir-fried vegetables. The rosca tria. Now I had that so that there's a little valve in here that pops up. Really, it should be about halfway. It's a bit like a pressure cooker lid, this is, but I've got it simmering quite nicely in there. I'll just see, I lift it up, you can see it's bubbling quite nicely. And now I'm going to put it into the, oh, that's it, popped up there. You can just see that. It will drop down again, it's about halfway. That's a perfect cooking temperature, but yeah, it doesn't work the same as a pressure cooker, but it's very similar to one. Ideal for soups. Right. The next thing I'm doing now is I've got the oven at 180 degrees. It's been 20 minutes in there once I've done that. So now I'm taking the ribs and I'm going to put them on here. They can be basted with the sauce, and the sauce can be kept, cooled down and frozen and used again. Do you know, I don't know where I got this recipe from. Often I keep a note so I can give credit where credit's due, but I'm afraid this time I really don't remember. Could be Ken Hom, but it doesn't necessarily follow it is, so I can't really give him credit for that. Right, so that's done, and now I'm going to put it into the oven. Here's a basting brush. So, quick stir. That's it. Remember, this is an oven, not a grill, so it doesn't really matter if it's not under some direct heat. Right, so there we go. Alexa, set temperature for.
Sorry, what device?
Alexa, set temperature for. Sorry. Alexa, set timer.
Device.
Alexa, set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Starting now.
Right, now what I'm going to do now is there's the sauce you can see. I'm going to leave that to cool down. I'm going to switch that off. I'll baste from time to time. Say in 10 minutes I'll turn it over and baste the other side. But now I'm going to put this on here because in 10 minutes I'm going to do the stir-fried vegetables, which I think I'll show you. I'm going to start the stir-fried vegetables now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's about as long as you can keep it there, which means for me that's when I should start frying. So, stir fry in here. I've got some sweet corn and get that going first. I've halved what I had before and do that a few seconds first. Get it started. Now I'm going to add the rest in, which is spring onion and orange toot. That's oil in there. I'll put a little bit of flavoured oil in there too because it's quite nice. I want it fairly crispy though, the vegetables, so be careful how you cook it. Now I've also got half of those noodles that I'm going to be using today. And I've got some bean sprouts here. Half of those will go in. Takes about 5 minutes really, but I want to get this going now. I've got mushrooms, so about 4 larger mushrooms. They'll absorb the oil, so that will dry everything out really. So that's the mushrooms going in. I prefer to do my own stir fry rather than buy the shop ones. Shop ones are fine. But this way you could get more whole ones. You could get 2 days worth out of them. They're not cut. You could choose what you want, how much you want of each ingredient, what you like. So that's what I'm doing. And now see that the temperature's dropped a little bit on there, so I won't add anything yet. So I'll build the temperature up again. Right, now I'm going to add some hoisin sauce, which is what I like. Yeah. It's not been opened before that. hoisin sauce. Not too much. Overpower everything. Just enough to give it a bit of a flavour. Alexa, stop. That's that. But now I'm going to add the bean sprouts. About half of it, quite a lot of bean sprouts. If I had a red pepper, that'd be nice, only for the colour. Now I'm adding a few drops of sesame oil. Not too much because it's quite strong. It's quite nice, that. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add half of these noodles, but not too much. I'm going to break them up a bit. Right, get it warmed through. That's cooked. Turn that off. And now I'm going to come back to you once I've done the taking the meat out. There's the dinner. There's the ribs. And there's the stir fry. So I'll take them out now.